Jen, great to have you here. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited for this. We've been waiting for months.
I know. We actually had this scheduled a couple of months ago and you got very sick and you're very prompt. So I was like, I know she is sick because she would be here.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I hate to have to cancel because obviously that's the worst being a podcast person. But I was so ill. I was like, there's no way I could be on the podcast today.
I totally get it. Totally get it. So I remember when we met it was probably a year ago, and I was just so interested in, so much about you. Like, you're a business owner, you work with real estate brokerages. You've made a bunch of mistakes, and you've come back and you're successful. And I love your whole story. So can you take us through sort of your background and how you ended up creating Staats Solutions?
Yeah, sure. So I have been in real estate for about 15 years now. I got my license when I lived in San Diego and just really loved real estate. I actually dropped out of college and got my real estate license like super young. And I had the opportunity to start working on the operations side while I was selling and figured out I really like it. I can see the gaps in people's businesses. I love helping people scale things, and just really found that passion really, really early on. I did that in California for a few years. I opened a couple different franchises, a couple different brokerages. And then we decided as a family that we wanted to move across the country. And I had a 1-year-old, and I instantly was like, I am not going to go to 9 to 5. I am not going to go knock on doors when I get to Colorado and sell real estate. I am going to start my own business. And I started reaching out and telling people that what I wanted to do was virtual operations. It was something I had never even, from that point, I had never even heard of another company that had done it, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And it just took off. We had multiple clients right away. I had to start hiring. And now we're at about 25 different real estate companies we run nationwide. We have a team of 11 full-time employees, and I think we've got a couple different contractors because we just launched our TC side of the business. And the rest is history. It's been about 7 years since I opened Staats, and I'm crazy enough to say that it's really fun. And yeah, now we run the operations of real estate related businesses all over the country. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations on your success, first of all.
Thanks.
I mean, you are a true entrepreneur. Let's go back. What's the TC side?
So we actually just launched our transaction coordination side of the business last September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. At the request of our clients, actually. So for the last few years, we have always built out our clients' transaction management system. We have helped hire their TCs. We have helped train their TCs. And over again, our clients would say, why are you not doing this in-house? And I'm like, because I don't want to me, that's a whole other business. I don't want to touch it. So we were constantly doing that. And our clients just kept saying, I would rather deal with, you're already running all of our operations. I would rather deal with one company. And so I finally said, sure. We'll take this in-house. So we finally took that in-house in September. We're now in about 10 different states. We have the plan to be nationwide. And that's been going really well because they're dealing with one company. So while we're running their operations, we can also do all of their transaction management. And the unique thing about us is we're also willing, depending on how many transactions they do per year, we're willing to work in their system. So I don't necessarily have to keep it all close to chest. I can work out of their open to close, their CSU, their Gmail account, which a lot of teams really like.
Yeah, they prefer that, right? Everybody wants to work within their own system because that's what's working for them.
Absolutely.
So you sort of retrofitted and are retrofitting to fit their needs, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me, who are your ideal clients? Who are you generally working with when you say brokerages? Are they independents? Are they big box brokerages? Who do you work with?
We work with everybody. So we are very I would say crazy in the fact that we'll work with any brand, with any tools they want to work with. So we work with all brands. We have people that are independent. We have people at Real, EXP, Keller Williams, you name it. We work within it. When we're bringing on clients, we'll generally kind of audit their systems, and we might give them recommendations based on what we really know, like, and trust. But I tell people, if your brokerage provides a tool, we're willing to learn it and help integrate it with everything else. So we really do work with everyone. Our ideal clients are real estate related businesses. So we have a few different coaches. We just came on at a couple different companies. So Digital Maverick and Easy Home Search running their operations, still in the real estate field, but not brokerages. And we deal with a lot of teams too, seems to be kind of our bread and butter, and probably smaller brokerages. So we don't work with a lot of brokerages that have thousands of agents. It's generally someone a little bit smaller and boutique.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, let's go back to when you say you're doing their operations. Explain a little bit more specifically about what that is.
Yeah, because operations to a lot of people is a very broad term. You can call it, you say you do operations, you could do many things. And to answer it, we actually do pretty much everything, depending on the business owner or CEO we're working with. Because I do find that sometimes they really like managing people, or they like handling their systems build out. So we usually just come on to the CEO and we say, what do you like? What do you not like to do? What do you need help with? And we'll cater our services to that. So we do a lot of system build out, integrations, helping create all of the systems like onboard and offboard their agents, helping hire all of their in-house staff. So really we just come on as their fractional operations team to kind of fill the gaps in their business wherever needed and help them scale to the next level.
That is awesome. All right. So there's been so much going on with the real estate industry, as you know, the last couple of months specifically. What do you see as the biggest challenge with your clients right now?
So the biggest challenge, I would say, not just with my clients, but just businesses in general, is that we all see a lot of like goal setting and things like that, where we're setting these expectations for ourselves based on maybe what a coach is telling us or what we see some of the other top producers doing. And it's like, I want to get there. But what I find is some of the biggest challenge, or what we're not thinking about when we're saying we want to get to this point or whatever, we're beating ourselves up, is we're not actually looking at the goal wholeheartedly. We're not looking at the systems it's going to take to get there, and the tools it's going to take to get there, and the people it's going to take to get there. So, okay, if you're selling 200 homes a year and you want to get to 1,000, that's amazing. You probably can, but have you taken into consideration the tools and systems you have in place right now? Is that capable of getting you to 1,000 transactions, or does that need to shift? And are you aware of based on your current workflows that's made you really successful to get to 200 transactions, is your transaction coordinator or your marketer capable of carrying you that far? Or in your goal or your business plan for the year, do you need to say, I'm going to have to hire 5 more TCs? Because a lot of times people aren't thinking about that. They're like, why am I not making money? I'm selling more houses. Well, to get there, you added all of these other steps and tools and expenses. So I would say overall, that's one of the biggest problems I see, or issues, because a lot of agents are visionaries, and they're seeing this thing that they want to happen, but they're not seeing all the steps that it takes to get there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a pretty typical, a typical thing with people, you know, you know where you want to go. You don't always understand how to get there. So how do you help them figure that out?
Yeah. So with any of our new clients, we do a full audit, regardless of if they think they're amazing in any category. I still go through everything with them, not only to try to improve it, but I want to understand what they've been doing. Right. So if they're like, no, my lead flow doesn't need any type of touch, or my marketing doesn't need, I'm still want to understand what they have in place so we can kind of keep coordinating that. Now, if we're talking about very extreme growth or just growth in general, I'm looking at every person on their team, whether it's me doing all of it or my team doing all of it, or if they have a couple people in place, we're looking at what is their job description? Are they happy? Are they not happy? What is their daily workflow? What is the communication channels? And a lot of times we can find some either cost savings there, or we can make everyone more efficient. And so they can do more without hiring a ton more people. And then we're looking at the systems too. So, if I come into a team and they're using a Google Doc with checklists on it, I might say, hey, that's really great because it's just been maybe you and one person. But if we're trying to get to this next level, we might want to talk about a better project management system. So we're just kind of going through it as a whole, looking at what they have, not saying I need to change everything, but get a good understanding of their business. And then we talk about their growth pattern as a whole, and we build that system together.
Wow, that's awesome. I would imagine, and this is like a part of a brokerage or a team's business that they usually hate.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
operations is just usually the salespeople. It's just not their shtick.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm,
so
yeah.
they must love you when you come in and help them make more efficient, become more efficient and scale their business and whatnot.
Yeah. I would say so they do love it. I mean, a lot of our clients are in different stages when they come to us, whether they're already overwhelmed, they're already in a growth trajectory and they're like, wow, I need help. Or they have a plan, right? So we actually have a lot of people that after I do consults, they're like, okay, I'm not ready yet, but I'm literally writing you into my business plan for next year to budget for your help. So we're part of their goal setting and their business setting and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So we can take a lot off their plate, or we can just help them get to the next level, depending on what they want to do. We have a lot of clients that want to get out of production, or they want to start another business. And so we can get this one running and off their plate so they can go do whatever they want to do.
So how do you actually get your clients to relinquish control? Because I would imagine that is really, especially when you're looking at, oh my God, like there's systems behind their transactions and their accounting and things like that, their HR, like those are very sensitive, secure things. Like, how do you get them to relinquish control?
My husband laughs at this all the time. He's like, I don't understand how you do one call with these people and like 2 days later, they're like sending you their bank account information. Like, I must have like a very trusting face for one, but I mean, a lot of it just takes trust. I mean, like a lot of times we'll start really slowly with a client. We'll take a couple things. They'll realize, wow, they can, like, that feels good. Like I trust them. And then they'll put more on our plate. The majority of our clients are very long-term. So most of our clients have been with us between like 4 and 6 years. They've started multiple businesses. They've met me, they've met my kids, I'm at conferences with them. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer, right? Because maybe they've either had something bad happen where someone took information or something along those lines. But we usually start out with, I tell our clients we use very secure password protection. Everything is completely confidential. Like I don't share anything with anyone. I'm a very honest person, so I'll tell them exactly what's going on. So sometimes it just step by step. It takes a while for people to open up and relinquish control. But we have multiple clients that give us the key to the kingdom. And they're like, you just run my entire business. They don't even want to be involved. They just want like a monthly check-in with us and everything's rolling. So it depends though. Yeah.
That is, well, you do have the trusting face for sure. For sure. And clearly you're delivering, Yeah. So that's amazing. And plus I do think that, like I said, it's a part of the business. While it is, something that they want control of, they don't like to do it. So I can see that a lot of them are happy when they can feel like they can trust you and turn that stuff over.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what are your favorite tools, tech tools, project management tools, organizational tools? Like, what are the things that you recommend to your client?
Yeah. So It's hard to say because again, I am such like an honest, open book to my clients, and I like being cheap too. Is like my first thing. Like depending on where their business is at and what their budget is, like I'm going to say the most cost effective, cheap option first, because I feel like you can start with an Excel sheet, you can start with a Google sheet, and at least you have it documented. We can always put it somewhere fancy later. It just depends, right? Like internally, I use something like Trainual. That's what we use at Stats. It's kind of expensive, so it's not for everybody. So I might tell people, as long as you start getting your training in one place, it's easy to replicate that and put it in something fancier once you get bigger. So some of my favorite tools, if I'm working with a new team, if they're like, hey, we have nothing, what do you recommend? Follow Up Boss, I really, really like. Ylopo, Luxury
What's
Present.
that?
So Ylopo is a website provider, and they also an IDX website provider. And then they also, you don't have to, but they can also do like your PPC and stuff like that as well. Another couple of providers that I really like is Easy Home Search for Leads. They link with Follow Up Boss currently, so I'm kind of a little preferential with it. And then Digital Maverick is another tool that does database conversion management for you, some AdWords. They also work within Follow Up Boss. So obviously I'm a big Follow Up Boss fan. So all the different things that connect to that. And then internally we use Asana and Slack. So Asana for project management, Slack for communication. If I have my way, every single one of my clients will use Slack and Asana because I hate group text messages. So Slack is like a way better place. So I don't have like thousands of agents texting me. So those are just a few of them. We also use QuickBooks. A lot of my teams use Sisu. So there's a lot of different options there. But I make that very customized based on our clientele and what they're looking to do.
Okay. So as we start to wrap this up, tell me, what are 3 things you would like to leave our community with today?
I think probably the first thing would be your business is your business. You don't have to grow it like anybody else. And I think a lot of us as realtors see all of these social media and everything, and they feel like we have to copy it, which sometimes like that's fine. But I think more often than not, like you need to build a business that's intentional for yourself because you're going to be much more successful at it. 2 would be, making the right hire. A lot of us really jump into hiring out of need and or panic because we just get so busy. I personally see it every single spring where we have like panic phone calls that people have gotten busy. So think about your hiring trajectory with your goal setting. I think it should all be tied in together. Whatever you're trying to do, make sure you're getting ahead of that and planning it step by step. And the third one, and one that I see very, very often, is just your tech stack. We talked about a lot of different tools in this call, specifically, and you really want to be, especially because we're in a very wonky market, make sure you're really being intentional about the tools that you are paying for and you're investing in. Make sure that your team is actually utilizing it. And you as a business owner should have a good understanding of the tech tools that you're asking your team to sign up for. Don't just delegate that out to someone because it oftentimes does not get used.
Yes, it's so true. I think the stat, I don't know if it's the same stat anymore, but I think the stat used to be like 20% of agents are using the technology that their brokerages buy for them, which is just like awful. Like, because, these tools are not cheap. And when you invest in them for your entire brokerage, it can really add up. So you want people to be able to really lean into them and use them for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Finish this sentence. Know, like, trust is.
Know, like, trust is. I would say know, like, trust is a long-term relationship.
Not a one-night stand.
Nope. 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 It's the only reason why Stats is around. Our clients really know, like, and trust not only myself, but my entire team. And I think for, agents that are listening or anyone that's listening, I mean, if your clients don't know, like, and trust you, you're not going to be around for the long term.
No, for sure. For sure. Jen, how can people find you?
The best place to get a hold of me would probably be our website, statsolutions.com. The contact button goes directly to my calendar. We do free 45-minute consultations. Even if you do not want to hire us, I'm happy to jump on with you, your operations manager, just kind of go through your business. You can also find me really easy on Instagram. You might see some baby goats or pictures of animals on there. It's not very real estate heavy. Super easy, Jennifer the Realtor.
That's awesome. If you're not already following Jennifer, definitely follow her. She's really amazing. She's smart. She's entrepreneurial. She has this amazing calmness about her, and you're just doing amazing things. So make sure you're following her. And thanks everyone for listening. And if you like what you're hearing, make sure to share it with your friends. Give us 5-star review, write a little about us. We would so appreciate it. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone next time. Ciao, everyone.